everybody, how's it going? It's Jamie, Crafty DIY Guy, and I'm back. I'm sitting on my front porch. I'm going to start decorating in a few weeks with my fall decor. I can't decorate for Halloween right now because of the construction that's going on, but hopefully it will be done within a week or two, and I'll be able to be out here decorating for fall. In the meantime, I thought it would be really cool to put together a video for you guys of more compilations. You guys seem to like the compilation video from before, and I thought it would be cool to show you my 2019 Christmas decor, including what I did to my front porch last year. Now, I will warn you ahead of time, my editing skills have improved a lot since last year, and my video quality have improved as well, and my I think I'm maybe just a little bit cleaner than I was last year. So you're gonna see some rough footage, I'm just telling you that right now. But there's some really fun projects on here that I think you guys will love. And in particular, there's several that I love that I will be bringing out this year as part of my Christmas decor. So maybe these will inspire you and get you guys in the holiday mood as well. All right, guys, thank you, take care. Oh, and before I go, I know you thought I was gonna forget, my OGs, my old time subscribers, my old gang, that's what I call my OGs. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly, truly appreciate all of your support. And also, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome. Love to call you an OG at some point. And then if you're brand new because YouTube recommended this video to you, thank you, YouTube. And we'll just keep going. All right, now here is the compilation video. First thing that I did was I actually switched tools. This was not effective. This kind of wire cutter was much better because you could literally just go on the edge and it gets a pretty clean edge. Now what you're trying to do is you want this to be as straight as possible, and you are going to literally kind of cover the backs of this in these popsicle sticks, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna give it the illusion barnwood. And right now I'm just kind of cutting them all the same size, but and that's just so I can kind of quickly go through here. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut them and have them at different lengths. Like I'll show you an example right here. Like this is one I just cut in half. That way you can kind of see how the wood is going to kind of be, see how it's creating, hopefully you can see that. I think there's a glare. Let me turn this light off and zoom in. Yeah, see how that's kind of creating like a little pattern, almost like, you know, something you'd find in an old barn. And I am going to go through and literally just create a bunch of these little pieces to just completely cover the back of this, including going all the way up to the point. So that means I'm going to have to definitely get some of those pieces up there smaller and angle them and all that good stuff. But I'm going to start down at the bottom of that and just, and just work my way up. So I'm going to get started on this first one, and I will come back when we are just about done. You can kind of see how this is starting to come together. Now, I am purposely not matching these things up perfectly. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this is supposed to look like, you know, it's supposed to look like an old rundown barn. And if you're gonna have your barn perfect looking, then it's gonna kind of lose some of the authenticity of kind of what we're trying to go for. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't make your version of this certainly more sophisticated. You could buy nicer nativity figurines. That actually fits perfectly in there, so we're gonna do that. But you can just go ahead and kind of make this. This is a rustic version of it, we'll say. So as of right now, you can see that I just went ahead and just started kind of free-forming some of the pieces. And then what I'll do is I'll go and I'll just kind of eyeball it because it doesn't need to be exact, and that one's not even going to fit in there. So you'll just continue to go through this. Now I did just take my wood glue and I just kind of spread a thin layer of wood glue along the back there. And oh, look at that, fits perfectly. I just did that with my finger. You could paint over the back if you wanted to, but for what I'm gonna do with this, once I get all these done, you'll see that it's not necessary. I am going to, whoopsie, we got stuff flying all over the place. Let me try this one again. I am going to continue to do this, and it's going to be a little labor intensive because I am doing it across all 3 of those houses that you saw. Look at there. And but you can kind of see how it's going to look like. Think about it, like I'm going to put some stain over this, I'm going to put some moss in here, and then it's going to kind of look like they're in a barn. So I will come back when I've got all of these covered in the back before I do the staining. Now you can see that the backing is pretty well done. There's corners here that, to be honest, were just hard. And I didn't want to deal with them. And I'm doing some other treatments anyway that those are going to cover up. So they're not going to be an issue. Now what we're going to do is we're just taking some stain. This is a dark stain. And we're just kind of doing this, obviously, very kind of sporadically. And I'm doing that on purpose. And on the sides and on the bottom. And literally, you're just kind of want to get a coverage. And then you're going to want to grab a napkin. Sorry, I thought I had some open here, but I don't. So let me open one up real quick. And it's okay if you're letting it sit for a few minutes like I am there. Totally fine. And then you're just going to take your napkin and you're just going to kind of wipe away some of that stain. And you're going to get it in the corners. You're going to get it in the, you're going to rub it. Whoops, you're going to spin the house. You're going to really get it just kind of spread out and around in there. And you can see where some of that color in the background is still, you can still see, the backing, and that's totally fine. Because when you see, and like even that little oops up there, totally fine as well. Because we're doing a different treatment on there. Sorry, I keep hitting the tripod. But you can see how that kind of looks like aged, really cool, old wood, right? And like in that area where it's still lighter, if you wanted to keep it, you could. Or if you wanted to just do a couple quick dabs and then go back through there. Like that's gonna look like an old barn. And then what you're gonna do is, I have some sheet moss, and this is just sheet moss that I had from a previous project. And I'm sorry I didn't share that with you in the first part of the video, but I just kind of separate. Oops, I just realized I'm doing that off camera. Let me see how I can do this for you guys. Oh, there we go. So I just kind of separate it and get it, where it's kind of in smaller pieces and I can use it. And then in those corners where, and this is just wood glue, but it'll work. It'll work the same. Where you had some of that backing show through, I'm just going to stick some of this. And, you're not trying to, remember, this is kind of a rustic, more of a rustic take on this. So I'm just kind of shoving it there in the corners. Because remember, they found this barn in the middle of nowhere, or I guess they went to an inn technically, and there was no room at the inn, so they put them in this barn. And you can already see how that's kind of transforming that and just making it look old and just kind of like not a place you'd want to hang out. And of course, they didn't care, right? I feel like I'm giving you guys a Bible lesson. They didn't care. We're humble people. And, they just wanted a safe place for warmth. And so again, just kind of separating this stuff again and kind of getting it into some smaller little pieces. But, you can see how it's really starting to transform the whole piece. And I'm digging this. I'm actually really into this. My grandmother was a very, very strong Christian lady, and she always had a beautiful nativity set and always had something going on in the house. And you know, this is definitely something for her and kind of honoring her. And I'm kind of doing it heavy on purpose because it's kind of like glitter. You know, I'm going to let the glue dry and then kind of figure out what's going to stay and what's not going to stay. And so that, I think, is pretty well close to being done. The other thing that I am going to do is I am going to put a nice layer of this along the bottom, and I'm just going to spread it with my hands because, or what the heck, it's all fun. And then I am going to I'm going to wipe this finger off first. And then I'm going to take some of these larger pieces and just kind of glue them along the bottom, because that's also the kind of the base of the barn. You know, there was hay probably in the barn, but I don't have any hay. And I kind of just love the way this looks. I'm really, really liking this. But don't you think it just looks like an old barn that they probably would have ended up in, right? And then this one I'm probably going to put probably the three wise men in. But like, just look how neat that's going to be. I'm going to have to trim away some of that he's been drinking too much wine. But you can kind of see what I'm kind of going after there. But that's going to be beautiful, isn't it? I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys are too. All right, so that is what one of the finished sides look like. And actually, I'm going to put some moss. I'm going to put some glue in that corner. And just go ahead and do some moss in there too. And again, I'm just doing these chunky pieces. Oops, sorry, I keep hitting the tripod. These chunky pieces in there. And I'm going to lay it flat like this, and I'm going to let it dry. And then when it's done drying, I'm going to flip it upside down, and whatever doesn't stay is just not meant to be in that part of the manger. But gosh, I love the way this looks. This is looking better than I thought. The other thing that I did not mention earlier that you'll want to do is I went in my backyard. I'm trying not to make everything tumble. And I picked some sticks and some twigs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up breaking these off. And I'm going to break these into pieces that fit along the barn roof, if you will. So I'm going to cover all of this in sticks. But what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to stain this. And again, just kind of doing that same treatment that you did before. Trying not to move a lot of that moss around that's in there drying. I probably should have let this dry first before I did this, but that's me. I don't ever follow the rules with stuff like this all the time, and that's why some stuff doesn't turn out. So you're seeing this live, live-ish anyway. But yeah, I like the way that looks too. But again, just kind of pulling that stain down and kind of the residual stain from my napkin. And I can go back in and darken the sides, but for right now, gosh, I really like that. I might actually take a little bit of the stain from here and just kind of, well, that didn't work. So yeah, rather than keep messing with it, I'm gonna probably start breaking some sticks and getting this roof line laid out for this. And then after I have that, I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to repeat it 2 more times on the other 2 pieces. And what I'm doing with the sticks, I literally just took those twigs that I grabbed from my backyard, and I put a little bit of glue, wood glue, down there, and then I'm using my hot glue gun, because my hot glue gun obviously is going to hold it a little bit better. And then I'm just kind of going in and making my roof line. And I'm not making the sticks perfect. I'm kind of purposely not, I just broke them. I'm not going through and making any kind of special precision cuts because again, I'm going for a more rustic nativity set. And yeah, so I wanted you guys to be able to see that and how that's starting to look. So again, I'm going to finish down this side, and then I'll show you what the finished product looks like. I even like the way that little twig is. I'm pretty stoked about it. Yeah. So there is barn number 1. And I will get started on the second and the third one and show you what it looks like when it's all complete. Okay, you guys, the manger scene is done. I am thrilled. And I was actually able to get it all done tonight. I took the Dollar Tree houses. I put some wood backing on the backs of them with those popsicle sticks and a little bit of stain. I put some moss in there. On the rooftop, I glued some sticks and some additional moss just from the backyard. I did put some stain on there as well. And then the manger figurines, once again, they came from a set that I got at Walmart for $7. I really love the way this looks. Yeah, I told you there'd be some rough ones. All right, here's some more. Hey guys, it's Jamie, your crafty DIY guy, and yes, I am back. My third video, kind of the weekend. I am so glad to be able to get back into be crafting and doing stuff. And I am in the middle of making a reindeer wreath. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that are making these reindeer wreaths already. And so I wasn't going to go through the entire tutorial, but I did want to kind of show some of our friends that may be new to making these wreaths, kind of what is involved in making these bundles. And I'm trying to untwist one of these suckers now. But what I wanted to do today was kind of show you, for those of you that maybe have not done a wreath, I want to show you how to make the bundles and then how to wire it to your frame. And then I'll show you kind of what the wreath looks like at the end of it all. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab lots, and I mean lots, of mesh ribbon. And this is the mesh ribbon that I have been working on literally for the last like 4 hours. And it hasn't been 4 hours, but it definitely seems like 4 hours. So what you're going to want to do is, like in this case, I'm doing my reindeer all one color. And I found this brown mesh. It was definitely part of the harvest. I don't know why I can't talk this morning. It was part of the harvest collection, so I don't know if you'll be able to find this brown or not anymore, but I wanted my reindeer to be brown. So this is going to be the body of him. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the camera angle so you can see how to make the bundles that we're going to do. And you're going to make a lot of bundles. Essentially what this kind of equates to, at least for my kind of fluffy version that you see here. See how the wreath has these sections, right? Each one of these sections takes 6 bundles. And what I do is I take 3 pieces of ribbon, or 3 pieces of my mesh ribbon, and these are about 4 to 5 inches, I would say. I don't measure them, I just kind of eyeball them. And you're gonna also need pipe cleaners. You can get these at Dollar Tree as well. And it doesn't matter the color. You can see these are silver. You can even see on the back of mine, I originally started with all gold, and then that one at the top is silver because I ran out of the gold. And it's not a big deal. So what I do is honestly, first I find a comfortable place to sit. I'm on my sofa, I'm in the living room, I've got YouTube videos going, I'm singing my little heart out, and that's something you definitely don't want to see on video. And now I'm gonna switch the camera angle around. You're gonna be viewing my crotch, but that's the only way I can kind of do it in this setup. And I'm gonna show you how to make the bundles, and then I'm gonna show you how to wire it to the wreath. So if you're familiar with making these already, then you may want to skip forward a little bit or just hang out because we're gonna have some fun. All right, so here are how you make your bundles and how you wire it to your frame. All right, I am back and I have finished my bundles on my wreath form. You can already see it's starting to take shape. Now, one thing that I do, you can see how down below here, right? This is almost kind of perfectly lined up, right? But then as you get up towards the curve and even on the edges here, it's a little unfinished looking. I give mine a haircut. And the reason why I do that is because I want this to be a little more even and a little more streamlined. I can't believe I'm just doing this like this and not, because I want there to be I want there to be a little definition in here. And I want it to, you know, kind of, gosh, I need to trim my scissors or sharpen my scissors. But I'm doing this because I want it to be a little more even and finished looking. But also, I want you to be able to see that this reindeer has a neck. So you can already see, just in that little bit that I've done there, let me see, gotta pull it around this way, sorry guys. But you can already see that it's starting to take shape a little better. And a lot of people complain or they don't like this mesh ribbon because it does fray really bad. But you can already see how much better that looks and how that center is a little more defined. And then I do it also just around here. And it's literally just like, I'm gonna have these things all over my couch, but it's okay. It literally is just giving it a haircut and giving it a trim. And gotta switch hands here. But I will do this and just get this in a place where I feel good about it. And totally optional. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You know, I happen to like the way it's looking. Let me just hit it a couple more times. And see that already, I wish you could see. See, that already makes a huge difference, right? That's my reindeer noise. And then what I do is I just go like this and squeeze these together and just kind of fluff them that way. But it looks like he's got a nice full coat, right? Look how pretty that is. And it turns out really, really nicely. I'm not even gonna trim that on the end there because he's gonna have a nose soon. And, but yeah, that is the form of my reindeer wreath. And then I wanted to have, you know, some kind of antler, and I wanted it to be sparkly and pretty. So I actually went to Michael's and I got these picks. These were on one of their 60% off sales. And I'm literally just gonna kind of do something like, I grabbed 2 of them. I'm literally gonna grab like do like 2 like that, I think, or maybe I'll do them a little closer in. But I'm gonna play around with the placement of the antlers. And then I'm gonna actually make a collar for my reindeer, and I wanted to show how I do it. Now I've already put the antlers on there, and I think they look pretty awesome. And I want to give him a collar that has jingle bells on it. So when it's on the door, you know, it makes a lovely sound. So I had some scrap leather. You may remember I covered an old typewriter table several months ago, and I have some of the leftover leather from it. And so I went ahead and cut a strip, and it's funny, I cut the strip a little short, but it kind of works too, because it's going to basically go and it's going to touch each one of the ends on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of probably glue it or wire it to where it just stays there. And then it'll kind of look like that. I'm trying to hold it. And then I grabbed one of these jingle bell things from Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take it off of this door hanger. And then it's pretty cute the way it is, honestly. So I think I'm just going to keep it like that. And it's gold and it matches really well. So let me go ahead and try this part, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, I kind of got a little lost in the process of finishing up the reindeer, but I did want to show you what it looks like. So here it goes. Ooh. I'm actually really happy with it. Okay, let me just kind of walk you through what I did. Now, those holiday picks, those are from Michael's, and they were less than $1 each. And then, of course, I used the brown and gold ribbon. For his eyeball, I know it's a little creepy, but I used a wood bead, and I painted it black and gave him a white part of the eye, is that the pupil? And then the gold center eyeball to kind of make it match everything else. The nose, I did just a red wood painted bead. Again, I was going to do it in glitter, and I may go back and still do it in glitter, but honestly, I don't have any glitter right now. And then for the collar, I did that strip of leather that I showed you. And then I did take apart the jingle bells, and I used only 3 of them instead of using 5 of them. And then I just added some red touches in there to kind of match with the antlers at the front. But this is my finished reindeer. It's actually super simple and really fun to make. All right, I told you some of these were going to be rough, but here are some other projects that I think are super fun and very cool. Told you they were going to be rough. For this next project, you are going to need a kitchen towel of your choice. I went with this black and white kind of plaid color. If you had the buffalo check, that would be amazing. I also grabbed 3 bags of these styrofoam snowballs. These are in that crafter square section that you can find in your Dollar Tree store. I also grabbed a bag of these pom-poms in kind of these primary colors. I wanted to be sure and have black options. I also grabbed some of my googly eyes that I had in my kit. I grabbed 2 of these hat ornaments, and I'm so glad that I did. When I got home, this black one was actually probably a little more beaten up than I expected. So it worked out well because I had this black and red plaid one that I used as a backup. And now I'm going to go with this. I love that burlap that's on there as well. And then I went ahead and I grabbed, of course, 3 of these snow globes that you see in the back, or these fish bowls, is what they're called, I guess. And I'm going to use those for the body of my snowman. Now, when I looked at this hat, it wasn't quite the right size that I needed for the top of the snow globe, but that's an easy fix. You can kind of see here if I were to just use this on top of the snow globe, it would fall into his brain, and that wouldn't work. So I cut out a piece of cardboard with into a circle and then started to paint it here. I covered it in a couple layers of chalk paint, and I did it on both sides of the cardboard including the sides of the cardboard that are pretty exposed. But don't worry about that exposed piece because we're going to actually cover that up once it dries. Now I'm going to take these 3 snow globes or these 3 fish bowls and turn them into snow globes by filling them with this styrofoam snow that you can buy at Dollar Tree. And be careful with this because it will get everywhere. Now, I'm going to give him some eyes because, of course, we want him to see, and we want him to see all the great things that we have in store for him. So I glued just with hot glue his eyes right on his face. And then, of course, what's a snowman without a carrot nose? And in this case, it's a pipe cleaner nose that is orange. And then for the hat, that exposed edge that I was talking about, we are going to actually cover that with some of this wired jute cord. And we'll just go completely around the edge of the hat, and it ties in perfectly with the burlap that's on that hat. And I love the way it looks. Now, let's look at the snowman with his hat on and his nose and his buttons out of the pom-poms. It is really looking cute, but let's go ahead and get started on that scarf. Now for the scarf, I wanted to tie in some of the red, so I'm using a piece of mesh ribbon. I've of course got my kitchen towel, and then I want to bring in some flowers with these blings. What do you think? This is my little snowman. I really love the way it looks. I put the flower in his hat. It was styrofoam, so I was just able to poke it right through. And then, of course, I've got the googly eyes. I've got the carrot nose and the pom-pom buttons. I absolutely love it. So for this project, you are going to need a floral pick of some kind. You're going to need some burlap ribbon. You're going to need a piece of some kind of holiday ribbon. This is the one that I grabbed. I thought it was really, really cute. And then you're going to need 2 of these metal wreath holders, and you want to get them in the same color. It doesn't matter which color you want. I chose the red for this project, and I'm so excited about it. Can I hang these on here? Oh, I can. Maybe that can be a Halloween costume sometime. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your wreath hangers and literally just snap off the ends here. This is the piece that would go typically over the door. This one was a little tough to get off at first, but then with a couple bends, it did finally pop off. This one, for whatever reason, just ended up snapping off really quickly. So you also want to just go back through with your trimmers there, your wire cutters, and just make sure that you've got all these sharp edges kind of smoothed out. The other thing you may want to do, like I did here, is just kind of pound down those edges and make sure you don't have anything sticking up. You could also take a piece of sandpaper if you wanted to and just kind of smooth those edges down a little bit more. The next thing that you're going to want to do is just kind of get rid of those pieces. You could save them for another project, certainly, if you wanted to. Now, this next part, you're going to laugh, but unfortunately, my E6000 tube is on its last leg, and I am literally having to pump the glue out from the side because of I'm having some issues with the nozzle there at the top. So go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and make fun of me. If you love me, send me some glue. And I am going to squeeze a little bit of glue out of the side here. I'm going to first straighten up these skis, get them nice and flat. There's a little bit of bend there, and I want them to glue together nicely. So go ahead and squeeze a little bit of E6000 glue out of the side of your tube, like I'm doing here. Once you get this in a good place, you may also want to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of hot glue. This will help that E6000 to dry a little bit faster. And of course, you have to make sure you have some glue in your glue gun in order for it to come out. Now it looks like it's finally starting to come out there. Maybe not. Okay, now we're doing something. Getting a little going. There we go. This voiceover is great, isn't it? And now finally, I have some glue out. And then you just kind of stick your skis down in a crisscross fashion there and go ahead and spread them out, get them to the kind of desired look you want, and then set them aside with something weighted down. The burlap ribbon that I had I thought was a little too thick, so I did go ahead and cut it into a skinnier strip. Then you're going to want to go ahead and tie a bow. Now, I do my bows just like this, just like you're seeing here. And I do it kind of freeform, and I do it off of the item most of the time, just so I can kind of get that shape. I do a traditional, almost like you're tying your shoe bow. I pull it really tight in the middle. I kind of manipulate that knot around and manipulate those legs of the bow, if you will. And then I kind of play with the ends and get them nice and round. Again, manipulating that center knot, making sure that it's pretty tight, kind of pulling as I can, holding sometimes those loops between a couple fingers, and then again, just making that center knot nice and tight. And then I kind of squeeze it together and fluff it and kind of pull these bow legs down. And then I literally just go ahead and repeat the same thing in this process with the silk ribbon. And again, kind of manipulating it, tying like I'm tying a shoe, and then kind of repeating that same process, pulling, making that knot perfect, getting those ends looking good. And then I glue them on top of each other. I literally took the burlap ribbon, glued it to the pick, and then glued the silk ribbon on top of it. Now I'm just kind of trimming those edges up, getting them kind of in a nice shape and form that I like. And then the center of the skis, you can see I wrapped it with burlap, and I did that for two reasons. One, it keeps it sturdy, and two, it gives me a place to stick my pick to in the center. The hot glue is going to adhere better to that burlap than it would just the metal itself, and so that random piece of ribbon out of the way. And then a generous helping of hot glue in the center there, all over this burlap center, and then push the pick down on top of it. I do this working around the pine cone, as I don't want to crush that, and then I set that aside and let it dry for a little while. The last thing I wanted to do was have something to hang the skis from, and then also have a nice glue gun burn there. The nautical rope that I'm using has 3 pieces of rope per section, and I went ahead and pulled off one of those. So I just have 2 pieces that are bound together, and I just kind of made sure that they were glued on the end. And then I'm simply just going to tie it around on each one of the ends of the skis. And there you have it. I took the nautical rope, but just wrapped it around the end of those skis and tied it off in a knot. You've got the floral pick in the middle. If you're not a floral designer like me, these are great for doing these quick projects with. I'm pretty happy. I told you there'd be some rough ones. All right, here's some more. Hey you guys, it's Jamie, your crafty DIY guy, and I'm back. And this time I am going to be taking one of these Dollar Tree mirrors, and we are going to turn them into Christmas poinsettia mirrors. So stay tuned. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 of these petals and get them painted green. Now, I'm not really going to prime this. I'm going to actually just keep it. We'll probably do a couple coats of it, but I actually like the way that kind of bronzy green is showing through there. And then we're going to do 3 on this side, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then 3 on this side, and then we're going to go back and fill in the others with red. Okay, check it out. The poinsettia mirrors are almost done. We did paint that center ring gold, and then we've got the couple coats of the red and the green. Definitely prime these before attempting this. And next we are going to spread some Mod Podge on here and just do a really light dusting of glitter, and then they'll be done. All right, now we've got Mod Podge, and we're just going to do a thin layer. My sister's acting as my extra set of hands and holding this for me. And after I've gone back through, and then I'm going to take another brush and just kind of spread some of this out.
And then my sister is going to take some of the glitter that's huge in it and start sprinkling on the glitter. She's not an actress like me. All right, guys, check them out. They are done. I think they turned out pretty amazing. The biggest thing I would say if you're going to make these is make sure you prime these little suckers, because we put probably 4 coats of paint on these before, and we were just using acrylic paint, but we didn't have anything to prime them with, so next time we'll definitely prime them. But these are my Poinsettia Dollar Tree mirrors. Thanks, guys.
Hanging Christmas basket. So the first thing you're going to need is one of these hanging baskets. Now this is the one that typically has the chain on it. I did go ahead and just take the chain off really quickly, toss it over to the side. We are going to use it, so don't throw it away. And then you're going to want to grab 3 of these 15-foot garland bundles from Dollar Tree. You also want to go ahead and grab some of these. These are the Wreath wires. Is that what they're called? You know, their wire wreath. God, I'm striking out all over the place today. What the hell are these things called? They are the wire garland ties. That's what they are. So get a couple packages of these, and then you're going to want to also grab some ornaments. I went ahead and just grabbed this red and gold package. I liked them because they were glittery and kind of non-glittery, a good mix. And then you'll just grab some other floral picks and different things that you need. I grabbed, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to need, so I grabbed some of these sparkly ones. I grabbed some of these picks. I grabbed some of these poinsettias that are have some glitter on them as well, because they match the glitter in that sticky thing I just showed you, and then also in the ornaments. And then you're going to want to grab some of these floral foam blocks. I can't talk today. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the garland. I got 3 of these, 3 packages of this, and I'm just going to start wrapping it in and out around this basket until it's completely covered. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then we're going to come back and I'll show you what it looks like when it's got the garland all wrapped around it. Okay, you guys, I am back, and I have spent time wrapping the garland around the basket. Now, I did only use 2 of these, which is actually really good. I can save this for my mantle. The other thing I was going to tell you is that I did take these ties, these garland wire ties. See, I remembered what they were called. And I did wrap the hole around the bottom of the basket here, and I did go along the edges here. So this is what you end up with. It just looks like a full evergreen wreath. Now, all you're going to do is take your foam and just kind of fit it in here. And I think I can probably, hold on. I think I can put 3 of these in here. Maybe even 4 of them, to be honest. Because it looks like, yeah, I think I will be able to take 4 of these and stick it in the base. Now, this is that foam block that you buy at Dollar Tree that came in the 4-piece pack. So it actually worked out really good in here, actually. So that's exciting. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So there. And see, you don't see it because you've got it all covered really well. And now I'm just going to start decorating it. So I'm going to play around with this, and we'll see what it looks like when I'm done. I'll be back. Okay, I am working pretty steadily on this, and I'm kind of excited about it. I actually really like the way it's starting to look, so I thought I would show you. Now, I'm still going through. I've used pretty much all the picks that I have, and now I'm going to go through and start playing with some of the ornaments. And I'm probably going to move some of these flowers around because I realized that as I was doing this, I wasn't really leaving a lot of room to be able to put ornaments in here. And also, I kind of want some height on the top here. So, but overall, I'm pretty excited about it. Kind of impressed. I'm not really great all the time with flowers, so maybe, I don't know, maybe because they're all one color, I don't know. But anyway, or maybe I'm just getting better. How about that? I'll just change the narrative. So yeah, anyway, I will show you what it looks like after I have some ornaments glued on here. And wow, that little pick's not going in. There it goes. All right, I'll be back shortly. Hey guys, okay, now I am in my office / cat room, and I am desperately trying to get these ornaments out of this container. I moved in here because I'm going to be working with my glue gun as well, and well, these plastic containers that these ornaments are in, kind of tough. So this is kind of what it looks like right now. Beautiful, right? I love it. And there's definitely some green spots in there, but that's okay because that's kind of where I'm going to go through, and I'm going to be gluing some ornaments on there. Otis, of course, is in here now scratching on his post behind me while I'm trying to film something. So pardon that. The other thing that I found was this string of these bells. This is from Dollar Tree. It's funny, when I bought these, I thought that they were individual bells, but they're not. They're actually garland, which kind of works out perfectly for this. So I am going to be putting these, as soon as I get this one, there's Otis making his appearance. I'm going to be putting these on the tree on the I guess hanging flower basket as well. And oh God, I hate things that are on strings. Okay, there, finally we're done. So I'm going to be putting these on the basket as well, I think, anyway. Maybe not. I don't like the strings. I don't like the way it looks with the gold string. So anyway, let's see if my glue gun is hot enough. And you can see how these have the stems on them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue those actually with those stems in. So I'm putting glue. My glue gun is not quite hot enough yet. It takes forever for this guy to heat up. And I am just going to put a generous amount of glue kind of on the top, covering that stem. And then I am just going to, let me see if I can, where's the handle? And then I am literally just going to go and glue that in there and hold it in there and then move on to the next one. So I am going to try and find the chain. There it is. And I'm going to kind of hold it up while I'm doing it and just kind of spin it around and put some balls in some of those empty spaces. And when we're done, I will show you what it looks like. Ooh, it's pretty already, isn't it? Say hello, Otis. Otis. Say hi. Hi, Otis. All right, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, it's Jamie, your crafty DIY guy, and I'm back. I'm right in the middle of decorating my front porch, and I decided that I needed something a little more. I was kind of underwhelmed with what I've been doing out there, and I need a wreath. I have a window that's on my front porch, and I want to hang a wreath from it. Now, I went into my supplies because I've been buying stuff, as you guys know. I have been buying stuff all season long, and I have 3 packages of this mesh tubing, and you can get this in silver, you can get this in red, you can get this in green, you can get this in gold, and you can find it at a lot of Dollar Tree stores. And I also had a wreath form. Now, I started playing around with one package of it, and to be honest, I wasn't sure that it would totally work. And I'm happy to say that it looks like it is going to work. So apparently, one of these, sorry, I'm holding the camera obviously again. One of these packages of tubing covers that much of a wreath. Now I need to scrunch some of that together. Obviously you can see the hole in there. But one package covers 2 of these sections, and there's 6 sections. There's 6 sections on this form. So you should be able to cover your wreath form using 3 packages of this mesh tubing. And literally all I did here, and you can see that I wasted some of my tubing there, but I tied a knot on it and just started wrapping it all around because it's all one giant piece. And I got to the end and I tied it off. Now I'll go through and I'll trim those off, but this is going to be my base. I need to look around. I know I've got ornaments. I know I've got some Santa hats and elf hats and different things. So I'm going to play around with what to put on it, but let me finish my base first. All right. Stay tuned. We'll see what it looks like when it's all done, and I'll show you the front porch too.
Some of these Dollar Tree houses, these were really popular in the springtime, and I definitely hoarded a few of these to save for some holiday crafts. Then you're going to want to find some of these stainable or paintable wooden toys. I actually picked these up at Michael's, the cute little train set. This toy soldier, this nutcracker, actually came in a set of 3, and I think I paid like $9 for that, but again, with Michael's and their constant sales, they were 40% off. Actually, it was a package of 4. There's the other 3. Then you're gonna want one of these Dollar Tree trucks. These are wooden ornaments that I also picked up from Michael's. They were $2 each, but then they were another 45 or 50% off of that price. And then today when I did my Target run, I was able to find this buffalo check. And these are napkins. These are just paper napkins, and these were $1 each as well. So I've taken my paper napkin out here, and I'm just going to lay it flat here on my crafting surface. And when I trace, or when I try to cut out to fill in something like that, I go ahead and I just kind of line it up on the edges, because I know I'm going to trim away at this anyway, and I'm honestly not really good at this. So I just line it up. That way I only have to cut those sides. And I'm going to go ahead and trace it with the Sharpie. That way I have a nice thick line to trace over. And then I'm going to trim it up to fit inside of my little that I noticed, and this is just a kind of a trial and error thing, is that you can kind of see, if you look really closely, you can kind of see that pink coming in behind this. And I'm afraid that once I decoupage this on there, you're definitely going to be able to see it. So I am going to chalk paint this first. And I think I'm just going to chalk paint the whole thing white. My paint has dried. I'm going to go ahead and just put some decoupage on the back of this. Get a nice coating in there. By the way, this metal brush that I'm using, this is from the Crafter Square line at Dollar Tree. And I have to say, I'm not impressed. They lose, see? They lose their bristles. And I tried to use it when I was chalk painting with it, and it was definitely not a good brush. Now that I'm not going to worry about, just because I am going to be doing this on top of that. So, sorry, I'm trying to hold my phone while kind of lining this up the right way, making sure got all the corners. And then again, just gonna go over the whole thing again with a nice layer of decoupage. I did separate the Merry Christmas sign that hung on the bottom of the truck. I want to actually use that for something else. I want this truck to kind of have almost like a 3-dimensional look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take one of the Jenga wood blocks, and I'm just going to glue that to the back of it. And I'm going to let that sit while the decoupage on the houses is drying. That way I can glue this part to the back of that, and it will kind of give it that three-dimensional, it won't be so flat against the back of it. And it allows for this tree. You can see this tree is not perfectly flat on the back here. And it allows for some of that space as well. Next thing I did was I painted my train. I've got this red, and I kept the wheels brown. I used just a little bit of stain for those. And then these trees, these tree ornaments that I got from Michael's, I'm gluing some Jenga wood blocks on the back of those. This one, I'm gluing 2 on. This one, I'm gluing 1 on to just give it a little bit more depth while I'm waiting for my decoupage to dry. I'm excited. These are going to be really cute. I think I'm going to put them on my mantle. Check it out. My little dioramas are done. I used the Dollar Tree houses. This one here is the Dollar Tree truck ornament that's so popular. I just took the Merry Christmas off the bottom. This is those springtime Dollar Tree houses. I had about 5 or 6 of them left over from my hauls over the summer. And this little glitter bow is also from the Dollar Tree. You get these in a pack of 8. I love the way that the decoupage is kind of drying on the backdrop there with the buffalo check napkin. It almost makes it look like it's a sweater. I'm really kind of enjoying that. And then the truck is just kind of floating there because remember I put that Jenga wood block on the back. This one here, I was able to get these tree ornaments from Michael's. They were about $1.50 a piece, I would say. And then again, used the Dollar Tree houses and the buffalo check decoupage napkin trick on the back there. In order to achieve that three-dimensional look, remember, you can actually kind of see it right there. I did do some wood blocks on the back of that to kind of make that tree stand out farther than the other tree behind it. And then the white tree actually does also have one single wood block behind it. This house also I stained. You can see the top of it there and the sides. And then this one, I completely just painted white with chalk paint. So I am going to mix these up. I've still got the train that I'm going to do and also have one of the toy soldiers that I'm going to do. But for now, I'm going to bed. So have a good night, y'all. And these were fun. I'm going to do a nice collection of these and have these all over the mantle. All right, Merry Christmas. A little early. Hey guys, it's Jamie, your crafty DIY guy. And it's holiday season. I love this holiday. Like this Christmas, Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my absolute favorite time of year. And I have spent all morning long doing my front porch. Now, if you know me, you know I love my front porch, right? My house, I love my house. I've only been in it about 1.5 years. I went all out. I'm super excited. And I'm not quite done yet because I still have to put some lights and stuff up. But I wanted to give you a sneak peek. So take a look. First walk onto my front porch. You'll see this sign. We have the house is under elf surveillance. I have my metal houses that I got at Walmart. Those have red candles in them, also from the Dollar Tree. These great wooden packages that are wrapped up here. These were from a catalog company called LTD Commodities. And you go up on the front porch, and you see I've got my snowflake pillows. I've taken my red Dollar Tree lanterns and added this greenery to the top, some candles, and then I added this greenery here. Underneath the table, I have one of those snowman ornaments. I just stuffed him in a metal pail from Dollar Tree with some pine cones, and then these adorable Dollar Tree candle holders. On this wall, I did this burlap ribbon, this oversized burlap ribbon with these wooden letters that spell out joy that just have some glitter. Did a hanging plant basket. You saw my video on this one. And it's just a hanging planter from a plant that unfortunately died because I kept it out here in the cold. And then my wreath, this is the one I just did with that mesh tubing and a elf hat and just some simple bows from Dollar Tree, and then just did that ribbon from Dollar Tree as well. The sign is something that my sister did for me on her Cricut, and I added the red truck, and then my reindeer wreath, have him on the door ready to go. And then lastly, my cart with poinsettias on it. These are not real poinsettias, that way they don't injure any pets. Below, I tied in this farmhouse scale, just put a present on there and some nutcrackers. And the reason why I did this is because I have grandma's scale that also had a plant in it that unfortunately died. And so I have that hanging up there. And then lastly, I did do some of these solar lights on each one of my flower boxes. So you can just kind of see them. And then there's one more thing I've got to do. I've got to figure out what to put in there. But other than that, this is my Christmas porch. Thanks, guys. All right, you guys, thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. I enjoyed so many of those projects. The poinsettia mirrors, the nativity set, the snowman globe thing. A lot of these are going to be reused again for my holiday decor this season. So I'll figure out something else to make for you, I guess, for some more projects. All right, guys, take care. Bye.